the news, not create it. And that is one of the problems, that the media, by focusing on one particular aspect of the story, they're making the news themselves.
But the media also, to be fair on the media, they reflect the conversation that politicians are saying and what the public is talking about. Some of the media, most of them actually. You talk about some tabloid media who have specific agenda, hidden agenda, some of them have prejudice against certain groups, etc. But a lot of the time, the media reports the conversation that, you know, or what politicians are telling us, and this is where
I wouldn't agree with you there.
I disagree.
So
I agree with you.
We need to look at the broader picture.
Yeah.
We need to look at where society is going over the next 5 years. In the next 5 years, we're going to have a referendum talking about our membership of the EU.
Yeah.
As part of that, immigration has become a massive issue. Now, this is something which has been forced by parties such as UKIP, which has been around for 20 years. They have brought immigration to the forefront of politics. They have also managed to find the mass media, certain media outlets, to be of assistance to them in creating this cause of, this is what the media has done, this is what has been achieved by X, Y and Z, and this is what we want to ensure takes place, namely that Britain comes out of the EU. And as a result of that, it's almost like certain politicians playing a game with certain media outlets and using them for their advantage, both of them. There's that symbiosity which exists there, symbiotic relationship, which means that those politicians, specific politicians, feed from the centre.
We've arrived in France, Mr. Malik. Thank you for being with us today. As you can see, we're a very diverse group of people here from different faiths: Christian, Muslim, Sikh, Hindu and Jewish. We are also some lawyers and journalists, and we've come here today to go to the camp on Calais to show compassion, to show solidarity, and to come back and try and seek some change to this humanitarian disaster.
Thank you.
Okay, so let me try to describe a bit about what we might expect, and then as we can think a bit about how we might want to kind of interact.
Calais अभी पहुंचे हैं refugee का camp.
Sorry.
Spilling. There's not enough room in the main camp, and then the police came and bulldozed everything. They destroyed all of the people's camps that are all along here, and they also destroyed some people's papers, photos of their loved ones who died. Everything just went and got destroyed because the police are trying, the authorities are trying to keep people contained in that area and not spilling out onto the roads and stuff. So this whole area, just up until like where those bushes start, was packed with camps.
Okay, thanks.
ये देखें कि किस तरह बेचारे हमारे मुसलमान बहन भाई इधर रह रहे हैं. ये देखें, अल्लाह ताला इन लोगों पर रहम फरमाए. दूर दूर तक आप देखें, और ये देखें कि किस तरह हमारे भाई, ये इनका धोने का सिस्टम बनाया उन्होंने वुज़ू के लिए जगह, कपड़े धो रहे हैं बेचारे. अस्सलाम वालेकुम. ये देखें किस तरह से हमने आपको सारा कैंपिंग दिखाया. सलाम अलैकुम. तो ये देखें गंदगी के ढेर इनको फिल कर रहे हैं.
अबशरना ما في अखबार طيبة.
यहाँ का चर्च भी बना हुआ है. एक
मस्जिद भी बना हुआ है.
मस्जिद किधर है? मस्जिद किधर है?
यहाँ पे जो है ना ये काले लोग, काले काले के किधर का.
अच्छा 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 अच्छा.
मुसलमान लोग जो थे ना पीछे रह गए
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. Are you staying here?
Project for winter. Had wood, for winter, and work with Médecins du Monde and UNICEF for the weekend. With doctors, and with one of the organizations helped the new arrival when the new arrival come in the jungle, not have anything. Missing someone.
Find a way to survive is so amazing. You know, the way that the communities have put together a place to eat and a place to pray, and how human nature is to put a community together. It's just, it feels like there's hope here, but also at the same time there's an expectation that there's something better coming around the corner.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Leonie, could I ask you to share something? What was your impressions walking around here?
I find it quite distressing because it looks sort of temporary, and I don't like the idea of people have actually made shops and things that sort of actually look like
army. They work for the US, and people whose families are in the UK. So it feels like a lack of good faith. The only thing people seem not to be is directly and immediately hungry. Everything else seems to really difficult, and the cold is going to come, and the rain's going to come, and the snow's going to come, and those things are urgent and immediate, and are going to change. You implied.
Thank you, Fidelia.
It's mind-blowing seeing all the mixture of people, and especially the life of young people being wasted. This situation here shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's an abomination, and it is terrible. Something needs to be done for these people. It should not be tolerated. There's a human hazard here, health hazard, all around. We've been asking about the women, but the women are also just segregated because of their own problem, because they cannot mix. Something needs to be done about this whole thing.
Thank you very much.
It is not good.
Now, let's we know that a lot of people have been involved in different aid responses and so forth. And then one of the responses has been the response of Citizens UK. And I mentioned this particularly, I'm so glad that George Gabriel from Citizens is here with us, because as London church leaders, we've discussed some of the work that Citizens are doing around this, and we're very sympathetic to the Citizens approach. By the Citizens approach, I mean that in particular, what's happening in the UK context is that there's a big move to try to put more pressure on the government to speed up and increase the numbers of refugees who are brought into the UK. And the strategy there is that a national resettlement board has been established. It's chaired by Bishop Paul Butler, an Anglican bishop, by Rabbi Danny Rich from North London, and by Zrinka Bralu, who's a refugee activist in London. And then the aspiration is that in all sorts of communities across the country, there'll be local boards, and they would basically work with local authorities, who are the ones who essentially have to sort of Thank you for making this trip today with us to Calais. We're here at this camp and here in this beautiful church. It's lovely we're here together, Christian, Muslim, and we're also with Jewish, Hindu, Sikh. And we've seen some terrible things here.
Of course.
How has it been for you looking around?
It's really terrible, you know. Have a look, we are living in the same planet, and my message is, of course, you're doing very well. First of all, I really appreciated your work. When I have a look, you know, we are doing, the organization are all doing for animals, but they are human beings. So really sad for me, you know, when I see, is really sad, is injustice.
What has given you hope today on this trip?
because there is a lot of organization as well, yeah. So I'm thinking I'm positive, but depends on the government policy. We try on our end. We have to done hard work. That's we did. We came here. You organize all the different cultural people, multi-faith people came here. So we did try our best. Now I hear that's confidential, so I can't.
Yes.
I hope they will come.
And of course, I think the message to people at home is that the situation in Calais here is really a humanitarian disaster. People are going to be very, very cold here in the winter. The conditions here, the sanitation is very, very poor. It seems to me that the government in our country and the government in France must act together, must work together to find a very speedy solution to this disaster.
And I'm also asking about where is that organization. They are talking about too much humanity. Humans are surviving here and they are just in their huts. So
thank you, Mr. Malik. Thank you.
Yeah. And especially as you can just feel now, you can feel as kind of a colder, evening drawing in.
I mean, luckily there's not raining, but when it rains, last time they told us they wake up in the mud, they sleep on the mud. So now the front NGOs have got all those. We have to put it actually so it rains, it takes the mud sometimes.
So we'll introduce you to the group.
Yes.
Jasveer and Vice Chair Leonie, representing different traditions. Disha and Ranjish, also Hindu members of our Faith Forum for London. We're also people from Faith in Leadership, which is run by Krish Ravel, which is an amazing programme which brings together people to be champions really for interfaith work and to encourage people of faith to work together and speak together into public life. And we have give a wider group of people an opportunity to see what it's like here, and also in the aspiration that there's something powerful about us coming together across different faith traditions. We're all from traditions of compassion, and also then hoping that when we go back to the UK, we might be stronger in the way in which we speak individually and together into some of the political solutions. And it'd be lovely to hear from you about how perhaps you think that what sort of helpful contribution we might be able to make.
Thank you. Well, thank you so much. And I think, thank you to all of you for giving your time and coming here and for the work that you're doing together as well, because I think you will have felt it too. It's been striking just how much, actually from communities across Britain, from faith groups across Britain, but also from all sorts of different community groups across Britain, there is a real sense.
इन्होंने वो ऊपर जंगला बना दिया ताकि ये कोई ऊपर से चढ़कर मोटरवे पर ना जाए.
Right. I just wanted to take a moment. Sorry to interrupt your conversations, everyone. I've just gathered everyone here because I wanted to thank Stephen on behalf of all of us for organising this trip and making sure that we all came and saw what's happening. As a result of you, that we've been having dialogue, we've been having discussions, we've been thinking a lot about what are we going to do next, and how we're going to work to ensure that the migrant crisis and the work that's happening here by the NGOs, by various volunteers, can be continued, and what we can do in London as various faith organisations, as people of faith, in order to assist what's happening. So, without you, this conversation comes started.
Well, thank you. I mean, just to put it in context, I came with Nazek. We were inspired together to go. And it was a very powerful trip, but it was quite a lonely trip in some ways because it was just two of us, and we felt very determined that we wanted to bring more people, and we're so happy that we've had such a group come. I know that you're all very well networked into various sorts of power structures and so forth, and I think the biggest thanks will be that we will have confidence that you will all be spreading the word and trying to build some change around this issue. So thank you all for coming along. It's been a very touching day for me. I'm sure Nazek would want to echo that. And let's try and push for the change that we want to see. I think we will. Thank you. Can we also really big a thank you to Nazek for bringing the camera crew with us, and thank you so much, Ronke and Brad, for being with us.